Hi, I'm Rachelle with Live in Vibrancy, and before I get started today, I just want to take a minute and really acknowledge all of you. The 1,000 plus that are subscribed, which is amazing, and the rest of you that stopped by. I just really want to let you know that I really appreciate you, and I'm really enjoying interacting with you in the comments. And if you've emailed me, I really appreciate your patience because my inbox can get a little intense. But I just really wanted you to know how incredible I think you all are. In that vein, I wanted to give a gift to you. So I've said this before, that if you don't carry the energy of the past into your future isn't shaped by it. And so that's literally the overall purpose of this video, is to give you a tool to allow you to drop some of the weights from last year so that you can propel yourself towards your manifestation this year. So the conventional thing to do would have been to do this either the leading up to New Year's, on New Year's Eve, or on New Year's Day. But I decided to wait a few days, in part because some people are going to watch this in August or some other month, and then intending to save it till the end of the year, maybe they might forget to do this exercise. And so if you come across this video and it's not January, I want you to do this anyway, no matter what time of year it is, or even what time of day. So the next reason I postponed this is because I really wanted to get you thinking about mental structures. Because reality as you know it is made up of your mental structures. And so mental structures they're what your conscious mind accepts as the rules about life and about reality. And most importantly, for you to understand, they are what you believe is possible. So they are these invisible boxes that shape your mindset and your perception. And if left unchallenged and unquestioned, they can literally create a barrier between you and what it is that you're creating. And so the idea of New Year's as a marker for change is an example of a mental structure. It's a bit harmless, unless you only ever wait until January 1st to make changes in your life, and then you might want to rethink that. But in honor of, breaking down the invisible barriers of our mental structures, I'm rebelling against the convention that just because Julius Caesar marked January 1st as the first day that the year begins, that's the day that we mark as change. And so that's the reason that I've waited to put this video out. Because literally, if you think about it, he could just have easily have chosen like March 1st or June 1st or September 1st, and then the 12 months would have come after that. So, and we don't even use the Julian calendar anymore, by the way, but New Year's still starts that day. And so New Year's is symbolic and it's a lot of fun, but it's otherwise pretty arbitrary when it comes to thinking about like making changes. Especially considering time is a human construct for the purposes of judgment and measurement and so on. And so the calendar doesn't really have to run out of squares for us to be prompted to make a change. Because every moment is the chance to choose again. The only true time is now. Can you touch the future? Can you touch the past? No, but you can touch now. And life is a series of now, 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 now. The future and the past, these are projections of your mind. And so, again, I want to bring you back to mental structures because at the end of this month, I'm going to be doing a workshop on the mindset you need to create easily and examining the mental structures that you accept and how they might be blocking you from creating is a really big part of that. And so I don't mean to be addressing arbitrary ones like New Year's as a marker for change. I mean the invisible boxes that literally construct what you believe is possible, because that absolutely affects your results. I can tell you that the idea that you couldn't manifest a person never even crossed my mind until at least 3 years after I'd manifested at least 2. So I didn't have those mental boxes. And so I really want to offer an opportunity for you to begin to start thinking about what mental boxes, what mental constructs do you have, rule structures that are possibly keeping you where you are and keeping you away from creating what it is that you want. So I just want to let you know this will be a longer video because I'm going to actually give you a tool to use to start laying down some of those energies from the past so that you don't carry them forward into the future. And so I encourage you to watch all the way to the end and to get yourself a pen and paper so that you can play out full. Because we don't get wet by reading a book about water. You have to jump in. So many of us are going through life like this jar. And each time we have a negative experience, we carry it with us. So you end up carrying the weight of your negative experiences and having more and more of who you really are blurred by the misconceptions that you created about yourself in these emotionally difficult and traumatic moments. And so then you want to create something new, and you're told to affirm and visualize for that new thing. And for some of you, there's space to add new things. No problem. For others, there's space, but not necessarily enough to hold it long term. And then for others still, you're not even letting them in. So if you're really ready to drop the energy and in this moment start choosing something new for yourself, then let's get started. So to get started, you're not going to need your pen and paper right away. So for the first bit, I want you to just really get comfortable. And when you're ready, I want you to just close your eyes. And I want you to take a deep breath in and just hold at the top. And then when you're ready, just exhale. Just letting that exhale be a little bit longer to signal to your body to relax. And I want you to take another deep breath in and just hold at the top. And then when you're ready, let that breath out in a slightly longer exhale. And in your mind, I want you to imagine a moment in time where you are living the life exactly the way you want it. And I want you to really feel into that moment and really notice. Notice where you are. And just notice any sounds that you can hear. And notice if you're with anyone. And if so, what are they saying to you? Can you hear any other sounds in the air? Can you feel the air on your skin? And I want you to really be in that moment. And I want you to really feel into what it's like to be you in this snapshot in time. Just really sink in to what it feels like to be this version of yourself. Notice any of the thoughts that this version is having. And especially notice the energy in your body. What are the emotions that you're having? How are you standing or sitting or whatever you're doing? Just knowing that you've created this life, how does that feel? You've created this moment you're experiencing. And now I want you to come back. And this is where you're going to take out your pen and paper. And I want you to ask yourself, who have I been this year? Because what got you here won't get you there. So what could be different? And just factually and objectively here, please. There is absolutely unequivocally no room for self-judgment, because judgment is an anchor that holds you down. So you can go ahead and pause the video if you need to, so that you can really reflect. And I want you to ask yourself, am I holding on to any past pain? This is both the things that you feel have been done to you, or things that you've done that you're still carrying like a weight around your neck. And I want you to ask, where can I let go of judgments that aren't aligned with that life that I just experienced, that life that I'm creating? Judgments of myself, or of others, or of my situation. And then I want you to ask yourself, what experiences am I holding on to that won't serve me? Do I feel like life is happening to me or against me? And I want you to look really closely at this one, because, spoiler alert, this is a massive mindset block. Because how can you possibly be the creator of your life if you don't feel you have control? So if you get caught on this one, don't worry, we'll be tackling this one in that workshop. And also, this isn't to open a debate about, do you create everything? Are you the only creator? Did you create the world wars? Did you create COVID? Because those are arguments over semantics, and quite frankly, they're irrelevant to this. And they're also an argument that is a massive distraction from looking internally. It's a focus far outside of yourself, and this requires you to focus within. Creation requires you to focus within. That's where your power is. And so I want you also to ask yourself, do I expect something outside me that will make me feel like I do in that snapshot of my future? Do I truly feel that I create that, or that something happens to me that creates that? And so now, using these answers, let's start dropping some weights from the past so you don't drag them into your future. So I want you to begin, and for this you'll probably have to either come back to this video or pause it, but I want you to list what has happened over the last 12 months, both good and bad. And again, in this instance, just the facts. No stories, no meanings about how this affected you, no emotional embellishments like we broke up and I was devastated and now I'll never blah, 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 blah. Just we broke up. Or whatever it is for you. I had a baby. I got married. I lost my job. It doesn't matter what it is, both good or bad. Just the facts, nothing extra. And I want you to list all of these as you can remember them and number them. And then one by one, I want you to sit with the emotions. I want you to go back over the list and sit with the emotions that come up as you think about each event. But it's important here that you relax the mind and you don't run the story. And that you ask yourself, what did I make this experience mean about me in this moment? And allow your unconscious to bring anything to you that's there. And I want you to put your attention on the sensations and the emotions that are created in your body. Just breathing and relaxing until they run through you. Not noticing the story, just noticing the feeling, the sensations that are happening. And if you aren't running the story while you put your attention on the sensations, then the energy will move through you in about under 2 minutes. Anything more, and you're actually running the story. And so you might have to do this again. It does take a little practice. And now once you're done all of this, if you wrote these down on a separate piece of paper, numbering each one, I want you to go back through each of these events again and write out what positive thing you learned from it. What came out of that experience that you can be grateful? Because no matter how negative an experience, when life is happening for us, we're going to gain something. And do that for each one of those items. And now, if you wrote down the negative experiences, once you've sat with each one of those emotions, I want you to take that page and I want you to tear it up and throw it away, because you are letting all of that go. And so continuing on the page where you have your gratitudes or your lessons, I want you to go back to who you've been over the past year. Go back to that question. And I want you to think about that vision that you had and the person that you were and what that felt like to be that version of you. And I want you to think about what it is you need to let go in order to become the person for whom the universe is already organizing everything in your favor, for you to step into that reality. And ask yourself, how could I show up differently this year and get a different result? And write down the ideas you have there. And what am I going to work on to be able to show up in that way? What habits do I need to let go of? And what habits do I need to take on to help me become that version that I see in my mind? What can I do to raise my energy every day? What new perceptions do I need to adopt and practice so that I can start thinking and feeling like that version that I was in my vision? What new emotions do I need to start practicing, or what emotions do I need to work on letting go? And I want you to preserve these pages, because these pages will allow you to reflect on them through, whether that's daily or weekly, or whether it's just whenever you need that bolster to kind of keep yourself on track, to keep yourself in alignment with the version of yourself that has that life that you're creating. And I want you to really commit to your outcome, commit to that life in that vision. And so if you need to go back and go through that again and really revisit what that was, then do that. And then commit to being that person, feeling those feelings and practicing those perceptions. Commit to being that person and commit to the idea that maybe it might take 3 months or 6 months, but there's no way it's not happening. It's happening, and everything you are experiencing is guiding you to it, no matter what that is. And all of those experiences that you had last year, they gave you that list of lessons and those gratitudes that are carrying you forward. Because it's happening, and fear has no home here. I want you to commit to that this year. And if you feel yourself falling into that comparison trap, focusing on where you're not, I want you to recognize that this is the conscious mind sliding back into wanting, because that's what it does best. Humans are always in a it'll be better when trap. So just recognize that and then come back to your commitment to yourself, because you are a divine being and all you need to do is claim that. And so this is your year, because there's 3 2s in this year. And I would love to hear about your results or if you found that you had any stumbling blocks during this exercise, and just put those in the comments. Or if any questions come up, please go ahead and put them in the comments, and I will get to them absolutely as soon as I'm able. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I look forward to hearing about how this went for you.